Under a sky choked with smoke, men charged into hell. This was Iwo Jima, where the very earth fought back. Beneath the volcanic surface, an unseen enemy awaited. Every cave, every tunnel, a tomb for invaders. Against unimaginable odds, a symbol of defiance rose. A single flag, etched forever into history's canvas. But victory came at an unbearable cost. A price paid in blood, etched into the volcanic rock. This was Iwo Jima, a desolate speck, a volcanic rock. Yet it became a crucible of destiny. Under a sky choked with smoke, men charged into hell. This was Iwo Jima, where the very earth fought back. This was Iwo Jima, a desolate speck, a volcanic rock. Yet it became a crucible of destiny. In 1945, the Pacific War raged. America's relentless advance brought them to Japan's doorstep. For the Americans, it was a vital stepping stone, a strategic outpost crucial for victory. Iwo Jima, the Sulfur Island, was no ordinary prize. Its forbidding landscape hid a deadly purpose. For Japan, it was sacred ground, the last defense before the inevitable invasion of the home islands. The stage was set for an epic, brutal clash, a battle born of strategic necessity and national pride. Thousands of young men, on both sides, would soon face their ultimate test of courage here. They would fight with unwavering loyalty, defending every inch until their final breath. The towering volcano, Mount Suribachi, stood as a silent witness, a grim sentinel over destiny. Beneath the surface, a hidden world of defense, General Kuribayashi's masterpiece of brutal design. This is the story of Iwo Jima, a testament to human endurance, sacrifice, and the terror of war. We delve into the why this desolate rock became a graveyard, a symbol of unbreakable will. From strategic necessity to the depths of human resolve, we explore the battle's profound origins. We journey into the heart of the volcano's shadow, where courage and sacrifice defined a generation. Prepare for a cinematic dive into history. This is Iwo Jima, Japan's last stand under the volcano. A story of epic scale, of desperate heroism, and the enduring legacy of a battle never forgotten. By 1945, the global conflict raged, but a distinct, brutal war carved its own path across the Pacific. While the Allies closed in on Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union pressed from the east, the Pacific held its breath. This vast oceanic expanse became an arena of unprecedented naval and amphibious combat, a crucible of empires. Japan, an island nation, had forged an empire stretching thousands of miles, defying conventional military logic. But America's entry into the war transformed the Pacific. A sleeping giant had been awakened, and it was advancing. The US sought to dismantle Japan's vast territorial gains, island by bloody island, pushing relentlessly westward. Japan's empire was a formidable network of fortified strongholds, each promising immense casualties for an assault. To overcome this, the United States devised a bold strategy: island hopping, bypassing the strongest garrisons. This strategy aimed to seize only the most vital islands, cutting off bypassed Japanese forces from supplies. Each captured island served as a critical stepping stone, a base for further operations, inching closer to Japan. The ultimate objective was clear: establish airfields within striking distance of the Japanese home islands. Long-range bombers like the B-29 needed closer bases to effectively launch their devastating aerial campaigns. America's industrial might provided an overwhelming advantage, producing ships, planes, and material at incredible speed. This relentless, island-by-island advance created an unstoppable momentum, bearing down directly on Japan. As the American tide rolled in, Japan's once vast empire began to shrink, its outer defenses crumbling. With their empire dwindling, Japanese commanders braced for a final, desperate defense of their homeland. The Japanese military doctrine emphasized fighting to the last man, viewing surrender as the ultimate dishonor. Across crucial islands, elaborate networks of tunnels and fortified positions were meticulously prepared for total war. This was not a war of territory, but of attrition. Every foot of ground would be paid for in blood. Even the unprecedented tactic of kamikaze attacks demonstrated Japan's desperate resolve, sacrificing pilots for honor. Economically crippled and isolated, Japan's ability to wage conventional war was severely hampered by 1945. Despite overwhelming odds, the Japanese leadership refused to capitulate, preparing for an apocalyptic final battle. The problem for America's strategic bombers remained. The Japanese home islands were still just out of comfortable range. Bombing raids were arduous, dangerous, and exposed vulnerable aircraft to the vast, unforgiving Pacific. Iwo Jima, a tiny volcanic rock, emerged as an indispensable target, perfectly positioned for America's advance. More than an airfield, Iwo Jima's radar stations provided crucial early warning for Japanese defenses against US attacks. It was a vital emergency landing strip, a refuge for damaged bombers, and a base for fighter escorts. Taking Iwo Jima meant securing a direct line to Japan, an unwavering path towards the final invasion. This desolate island, scarred by volcanic fire, held the key to accelerating the war's conclusion. The geopolitical landscape, America's relentless advance, and Japan's desperate defense converged on this desolate rock. Iwo Jima, a desolate island, a speck in the vast Pacific, destined to become a crucible of war. Enter General Kuribayashi, a man of unconventional thought, tasked with its defense. He rejected standard Japanese doctrine. No futile beach charges, no glory-seeking Banzai attacks. Kuribayashi envisioned a new strategy, a defense designed for maximum attrition, not immediate victory. The island itself, forged by fire, presented a unique canvas for his grim masterpiece of defense. Under Kuribayashi's chilling ingenuity, Iwo Jima would be transformed from land to a living tomb. Thousands of men, working day and night, carved an astonishing network beneath the volcanic soil. Through sheer grit and determination, they began to pierce the island's iron heart, inch by painful inch. Each swing of the pickaxe, each shovelful of ash, built a fortress unlike any the world had seen. The island became a labyrinth of interconnected tunnels, a subterranean city of death and defiance. From deep bunkers to hidden pillboxes, every inch was designed to inflict maximum American casualties. Below ground, command centers, hospitals, and barracks ensured a sustained, relentless defense. Strategic caves housed artillery pieces, ready to unleash torrents of fire upon the unsuspecting invaders. Mortar pits, seemingly invisible, dotted the landscape, poised to rain down explosive hell. Every position was mutually supporting, creating an unbroken curtain of deadly, interlocking fire. Concrete pillboxes, almost indistinguishable from the rock, offered devastating fields of fire. Thousands of spider holes, meticulously concealed, allowed individual soldiers to emerge and disappear. Vast underground depots stored food, water, and ammunition, enabling a protracted, brutal siege. Ingenious ventilation systems, hidden from aerial view, ensured the defenders could breathe underground. Kuribayashi's men, hardened and resolute, understood their fate. Fight to the absolute bitter end. Their mission was not victory, but to make the American advance as costly and agonizing as possible. The fortress stood ready. Iwo Jima awaited the invaders, transformed into a killing ground. The American forces, however, vastly underestimated the chilling scale of Kuribayashi's defensive masterpiece. From the iconic slopes of Suribachi to every subterranean passage, the island breathed defiance. Hidden flamethrower traps and booby-trapped passages lay in wait for any American who dared enter. The entire island became a weapon, a testament to Kuribayashi's vision of total, unforgiving resistance. He knew his men would die, but their deaths would cost the enemy dearly, buying precious time. Every cave, every pillbox, every tunnel was a calculated part of Japan's final desperate stand. This was not just an island, it was a monument to sacrifice, a meticulously crafted death trap. Iwo Jima, 1945, Japan's impregnable fortress, awaiting the storm, ready for its brutal ultimate test. The 19th of February 1945, dawn breaks over Iwo Jima, a desolate volcanic speck, now a crucible. Thousands of Marines, battle-hardened and resolute, braced for the invasion of Japan's last vital outpost. The largest amphibious assault in Pacific history was underway. Target: the black sands of Iwo Jima. Expectation hung heavy in the air. Intelligence suggested a relatively swift, decisive landing would unfold. The initial wave hit the volcanic shores. Men fought the treacherous terrain before meeting the enemy. Every step was a fight against the treacherous, energy-sapping volcanic ash. The island itself became an enemy. This was no ordinary sand. The loose, granular ash swallowed vehicles and exhausted every advancing man. The volcanic grit infiltrated everything: weapons, gear, and lungs, a constant, debilitating irritant. A strange silence initially blanketed the island, an eerie calm before the storm. It was deceptive. Suddenly, the island awoke. Hidden Japanese guns unleashed a torrent of fire onto the exposed beaches. The softening up bombardment had failed. General Kuribayashi's defenses were largely intact. No easy victory awaited. Each yard of volcanic earth was bought with unimaginable courage and sacrifice. The Marines were trapped. Japanese artillery, mortars, and machine guns poured down an inescapable curtain of steel. The volcanic grip held tight. Advancing was almost impossible, retreating unthinkable. The black sand provided no cover. It absorbed explosions but offered no secure position against the bullets. Japanese defenses, intricate and interlocking, began to reveal their deadly effectiveness. Every position was a trap. The struggle against the unique volcanic terrain became as fierce as the fight against the enemy. Naval artillery continued its barrage, yet the Japanese seemed to emerge unscathed from their deep bunkers. The initial hours were a baptism of fire, a shocking realization of the battle's unprecedented ferocity. Amidst the chaos, incredible acts of heroism unfolded as Marines desperately aided their fallen comrades. Every attempt to bring in crucial supplies or evacuate casualties was met with relentless Japanese fury. The beach was a living hell, a narrow, exposed strip where life and death hung by a single thread. Progress was agonizingly slow. Each yard gained required intense, close-quarters combat against unseen foes. The Japanese had constructed an underground labyrinth, turning the island into an impregnable fortress. Only through sheer grit and brutal, direct assaults could these deeply entrenched positions be overcome. The landscape transformed into a moonscape of destruction, a testament to the battle's escalating intensity. Mount Suribachi, the island's dormant volcano, loomed menacingly, its tunnels bristling with Japanese defenders. The first ridges beyond the beachhead were a gauntlet of fire, a prelude to the horrors above. The battle for Iwo Jima was not just a fight against an enemy, but a brutal test of human endurance. By afternoon, the brutal reality set in. This would be a battle of attrition, yard by bloody yard. Casualties mounted rapidly on both sides. The opening hours were a testament to the battle's ferocity. As dusk fell on D-Day, the Marines held a tenuous foothold, but the volcano's grip remained firm. The first brutal hours had passed. The harrowing fight for Iwo Jima had only just begun. Iwo Jima, a desolate volcanic rock. But one peak held the key to the entire island. Mount Suribachi, an inactive volcano, towered 550 feet. It was the island's most vital strategic point. From its summit, Japanese artillery observers directed devastating fire onto the landing beaches below. For American forces, conquering Suribachi was paramount. No advance could succeed without it. The initial assault on Suribachi began. Each step across the soft volcanic ash was a struggle. Japanese defenses were formidable, a labyrinth of interconnected tunnels and concealed pillboxes. Flamethrowers became essential, searing out defenders from their deeply entrenched positions. The initial assault on Suribachi began. Each step across the soft volcanic ash was a struggle. The Japanese defenders, commanded by Lieutenant General Kuribayashi, fought with unparalleled ferocity. Each yard gained was paid for in blood, a testament to the brutal, unforgiving nature of the battle. The terrain itself was an enemy. Steep, unstable slopes offered little purchase against gravity and fire. Mortar and artillery fire rained down relentlessly from the summit, testing every man's resolve. Orders were simple: Keep moving forward. Eliminate resistance. Reach the top, no matter the cost. Caves and tunnels, interconnected like a deadly spider web, required direct, dangerous assaults. Even armor struggled on the unstable slopes, its firepower often ineffective against hidden bunkers. Every inch of ground was contested. This was savage, close-quarters fighting, a true test of will. Wounded Marines continued fighting or were evacuated, their courage fueling the weary advance. Slowly, painfully, the Marines clawed their way upward, securing small pockets of hard-won territory. Fatigue was omnipresent, but the strategic importance of the peak drove them onward relentlessly. The summit felt agonizingly close, yet each new defense line seemed to present an impossible barrier. After days of relentless struggle, the lead elements of the 28th Regiment neared the crest. The final approach was treacherous, with Japanese defenders mounting desperate, suicidal charges. Their objective, the summit of Suribachi, was now within reach, a symbol of impending victory. Finally, on February 23rd, 1945, a small patrol reached the top, gazing into the crater. From this vantage point, the entire battleground unfolded, a moment of strategic triumph. Then, a powerful symbol emerged. A small American flag, found on board LST 779, was raised. Cheers erupted across the island and ships below. The first flag on Suribachi flew high. However, a larger flag was deemed necessary, a grander statement for the world to see. Hours later, a second, larger flag was hauled up, a moment immortalized forever in history. Joe Rosenthal's photograph captured this indelible moment, igniting the spirit of a nation. This was more than just a flag. It was a defiant declaration of American resolve and sacrifice. The flag's ascent marked a psychological victory, boosting morale and inspiring continued effort. But the battle for Iwo Jima was far from over. Suribachi was just the beginning. After days of hellish surface combat, a new enemy emerged from the very ground beneath them. This island held darker secrets. General Kuribayashi had transformed Iwo Jima into a fortress, a subterranean labyrinth of death. Miles of hidden passages, interconnected bunkers, and formidable strongpoints awaited the advancing American forces. Descending into this silent, suffocating darkness, Marines stepped into a world designed for their destruction. Every shadow hid a threat, every turn a potential ambush. The air was thick with tension. Kuribayashi's defenders were invisible, embedded deep within the volcanic rock, ready to fight to the last. Communication was near impossible. The claustrophobia and confusion compounded the deadly psychological strain. Then, sudden chaos. Japanese machine guns opened fire, echoing deafeningly in the confined spaces. Hand to hand, brutal, unforgiving. This was warfare reduced to its most primal and desperate form. Casualties mounted quickly in the darkness. Evacuation was agonizingly slow, often under enemy fire. Booby traps, cunning feints, and unexpected counterattacks made every single yard a brutal battle. Identifying the enemy proved nearly impossible. The rock itself seemed to conceal and attack the Marines. The suffocating heat and dust, combined with lack of ventilation, tested even the toughest Marines. Every advance was a calculated risk. Tactics evolved, seeking any advantage in this brutal underworld. Hauling gear, weapons, and ammunition through these treacherous passages pushed human endurance to its absolute limit. Facing impenetrable defenses, a terrifying solution emerged. The flamethrower became the ultimate cave-clearing weapon. Flames purged the darkness, forcing defenders out or immolating them where they stood, screaming. The acrid smoke filled the air, a grim testament to the inferno burning beneath the volcano. This was not clean combat. It was desperate, brutal, and horrifying, but utterly necessary for survival. Where fire failed, high explosives reigned. Satchel charges became vital tools for sealing off resistance. The ground shook as explosives ripped through rock, collapsing sections, burying defenders alive within. After each blast, the dangerous work of clearing remnants of resistance began, often against desperate survivors. Even after facing such overwhelming force, Japanese soldiers rarely surrendered, preferring death to capture. Tanks positioned near cave mouths blasted pillboxes, attempting to dislodge or seal off entrenched enemies. Even massive naval guns joined the assault, pounding cave systems, trying to collapse the subterranean fortresses. The toll was immense. Every yard gained felt like a mile, paid for in blood and exhaustion. Wounded men cried out. Yet the relentless push continued. There was no respite in this hell. Inch by agonizing inch, the Marines cleared the darkness, their determination unwavering despite unimaginable horror. The advance was slow, brutal, and unrelenting. This was truly the meat grinder that broke men. But Japanese resistance remained fanatical. Desperate Banzai charges emerged from the tunnels, shocking the weary Marines. Driven by Bushido, these soldiers fought to the last man, refusing quarter, inflicting maximum casualties. Surrender was never an option. For the Japanese, death in battle was the ultimate, sacred duty. The subterranean war continued, a brutal testament to human endurance and unimaginable sacrifice on both sides. As the battle for Iwo Jima entered its final bloody phase, the island became a crucible of fire. Japanese defenders, pushed to their limits, faced an impossible choice: fight to the death or surrender. American forces, relentlessly advancing, tightened their grip, systematically clearing every inch of the volcanic fortress. Resources dwindled, food, water, and ammunition became critical. Yet, resistance continued, fueled by unwavering resolve. Isolated pockets of Japanese held out, turning every cave and crevice into a deadly hidden stronghold. The island itself, a natural fortress of volcanic rock, became an inescapable death trap for its tenacious defenders. The psychological toll mounted daily. Each advance, each firefight, etched deep lines of fatigue and grim determination. With their backs against the wall, Japanese resolve hardened. Surrender was not an option, only resistance remained. Deep within the volcanic rock, a labyrinth of underground strongholds became the last bastions of Japan's defense. Every hidden cave, every rock formation, was meticulously transformed into an improvised, deadly defensive position. Ingenuity born of desperation drove their efforts, creating lethal traps and ambushes across the unforgiving terrain. Officers rallied their men, invoking ancient codes of honor, demanding ultimate sacrifice for the emperor and homeland. The concept of surrender, a profound dishonor, was unequivocally rejected. Death in battle was their only honorable path. Under the cloak of night, preparations for a final, desperate charge began. The stage was set for ultimate sacrifice. As darkness descended, an unsettling quiet fell across the battle-scarred island, a prelude to impending desperate fury. From the depths of their bunkers, the Japanese soldiers emerged, ghostly figures materializing into the rain-swept darkness. A final, grim order. The last Banzai charge of Iwo Jima was about to begin, a desperate, final gamble. With guttural screams of Banzai, waves of Japanese warriors surged forward, a tide of fanatical, suicidal courage. American perimeter defenses, vigilant in the night, braced for impact. The alarm blared, piercing the battlefield silence. A storm of lead erupted. Machine guns roared, flamethrowers spewed fire, cutting swathes through the advancing ranks. In the savage chaos, close-quarters combat ensued. Bayonets, knives, and bare hands fought for survival and honor. Despite their incredible bravery, the Japanese faced overwhelming American firepower. Their sacrifice was tragically inevitable. The Banzai charge, a final act of desperation, ultimately broke under the relentless American fusillade, leaving carnage. As dawn painted the sky, a grim silence descended. The ground was littered with the fallen, a testament to futile valor. Despite their incredible bravery, the Japanese faced overwhelming American firepower. Their sacrifice was tragically inevitable. Clearing remaining strongholds proved perilous. Every cave, every crack in the rock had to be meticulously secured. Flamethrowers seared the hidden depths, forcing out desperate defenders or sealing them forever within their tombs. The labyrinthine tunnels presented constant danger. Each turning held the potential for a final deadly Japanese ambush. The human cost was immense. Countless American lives were sacrificed, inch by agonizing inch, to secure the island. Exhaustion was universal, but the will to finish the fight remained unbroken. Victory, though costly, was within reach. After weeks of brutal combat, the last organized resistance finally crumbled. The strategic objective was secured. Iwo Jima was finally secured. Yet, the price paid in blood and sacrifice haunted the victory for generations. The volcanic sands of Iwo Jima stand as a permanent memorial, silent witnesses to unparalleled courage and ultimate sacrifice. The guns fell silent, but the screams of battle echoed across the ash-choked plains of Iwo Jima. Victory was declared, yet the immediate aftermath revealed a landscape of unimaginable destruction and human cost. This tiny, distant island became a crucible, forging a grim tally of casualties unlike any before it. The cost of securing this vital airfield would rewrite the ledger of Pacific warfare's brutal reality. For the United States, Iwo Jima represented an unprecedented sacrifice of its fighting men. Over 26,000 Americans were killed or wounded, a grim price for 36 days of savage combat. Each grave, a testament to courage, each loss, a devastating blow to families across the nation. The scars of Iwo Jima ran deep, etched into the psyche of every man who fought on that hellish rock. This was not merely a victory. It was a brutal exchange, paid for in American blood and valor. For the Japanese, Iwo Jima was not merely a defeat, it was an act of near-total annihilation. Of the roughly 21,000 Japanese defenders, almost all perished, refusing surrender to the last. Their fanatical defense, rooted in Bushido, ensured a casualty ratio almost unfathomable in modern warfare. The defenders chose death over capture, embodying a spirit that baffled and terrified Allied forces. Their sacrifice, while futile in changing the battle's outcome, underscored an unparalleled fighting spirit. Amidst the carnage, countless acts of individual valor illuminated the dark brutality of Iwo Jima. 27 Medals of Honor were awarded, more than any other single engagement in Marine Corps history. From impossible bravery to profound self-sacrifice, courage became the currency of survival on Iwo Jima. These stories of heroism serve as enduring testaments to the indomitable human spirit under fire. The strategic objective was achieved. Iwo Jima's airfields now provided vital support for the B-29 seconds. Yet, the staggering human cost raised immediate questions about the price of ultimate victory in the Pacific. Iwo Jima became a grim benchmark, a harbinger of the ferocity still to come in this brutal war. The battle's ferocity underscored the daunting challenges ahead, specifically the impending invasion of Okinawa. Yet, the staggering human cost raised immediate questions about the price of ultimate victory in the Pacific. Beyond the volcanic hellscape, Iwo Jima's true strategic prize lay hidden, its crucial airfields. These battle-scarred strips of land transformed into beacons of hope in the vast, unforgiving Pacific theater. The B-29 superfortress, America's long-range bomber, carried the war to the Japanese home islands. Each mission was a grueling, thousands-of-mile journey, pushing machines and men to their absolute limits. Japan's tenacious defenses often left these titans battered and broken, desperately needing refuge. For crippled bombers, the vast Pacific offered no sanctuary. Ditching meant almost certain death for crews. Iwo Jima, a blood-soaked rock, now emerged as the unexpected, life-saving oasis in this aerial war. Barely a week after the landings, the first crippled B-29, the Dynamite, touched down. Soon, these emergency landings became a daily, harrowing spectacle, a testament to Iwo Jima's new purpose. For these brave airmen, reaching Iwo Jima's runways meant a second chance at life itself. Tireless ground crews worked miracles, patching planes and rushing vital supplies back into the fight. Over 2,400 damaged B-29 seconds eventually landed here, saving the lives of nearly 27,000 airmen. Knowing Iwo Jima awaited boosted bomber crew morale, empowering them for even more dangerous missions. The island significantly increased the operational tempo, enabling more frequent and aggressive bombing campaigns against Japan. This sustained air assault crippled Japan's war machine, bringing relentless, unbearable pressure upon them. Beyond emergencies, Iwo Jima functioned as a forward staging base, enhancing bombing raid effectiveness. Later, P-51 Mustangs launched from Iwo Jima, providing critical fighter escort, further reducing bomber losses. Iwo Jima dramatically altered the strategic calculus of the Pacific Air War, making it far deadlier for Japan. The island's capture ensured a faster, more efficient air campaign, relentlessly pounding Japan into submission. The horrific cost of Iwo Jima's capture was immense, yet its strategic returns were immeasurable. The airfields became a symbol of sacrifice and an enduring testament to the island's strategic necessity. For thousands of airmen, Iwo Jima was not merely a battle, but a vital second lease on life. Iwo Jima's bloody struggle ultimately accelerated the end of the war, saving countless lives in the process. We conclude our epic journey, reflecting on Iwo Jima's profound, enduring legacy, a testament carved in volcanic rock and sacrifice. Iwo Jima's place in military history is unique. A desperate island fortress, pivotal in the Pacific War's brutal endgame, it was a battle for an airstrip, a tiny speck of land, vital for bombing runs against the Japanese home islands. The ferocity was unmatched. Every inch of ground bought with unimaginable cost, a hellish, subterranean struggle. For America, Iwo Jima became a powerful symbol of national resolve, grit, and the ultimate sacrifice endured. In Japan, it represents the fierce, unyielding defense of their homeland, a tragic chapter of unwavering loyalty. The island taught timeless lessons of courage. Ordinary men, in extraordinary circumstances, finding strength within, and sacrifice. Lives given, futures unwritten, for a cause greater than any individual on that volcanic shore. Iwo Jima laid bare the brutal realities of warfare. No glory, only survival, and the unforgiving toll of battle. Its lessons resonate in modern strategy. The importance of logistics, overwhelming firepower, and relentless determination. More importantly, the indomitable human spirit. The capacity for endurance and bravery in the face of despair. We remember the fallen, on both sides. Their stories echo through generations, a solemn promise never forgotten. Iwo Jima stands as a stark, enduring symbol, a monument to human cost, courage, and the price of victory. The volcano sleeps, but its story remains awake, a testament to sacrifice, echoing across time and memory.